Hi everyone, my name is Ish Sethi, and today I'll be giving a presentation on what I've learned about teaching in science. Over the course of the past week, we've done 3 sets of exercises to present our teaching demos, receive feedback, and try out some different performance possibilities. The first one looked at engagement. Each speaker had to try out a different environment of teaching. Nadia had to teach me like I was her little brother. Addie had to teach Neha like he was a door-to-door salesman. And the other Addie had to teach all of us like we were a crowd of rowdy students. In this exercise, I learned if you want to engage with your audience, then your audience has to engage with you. A speaker needs to change their delivery style in order to capture the audience's attention in that specific situation. Our teaching demos in class were much better than the ones we submitted online because we had to adapt to our specific audience in that instance. The second thing we looked at was being a relatable versus an authoritative speaker. In an effective teaching demo, you need to be both. When you're describing the facts and logic behind your research, you need to appear authoritative. This way, the audience feels that you know what you are talking about and will listen to you more. Examples of this include standing up with higher shoulders, bringing your head up, and talking in a deep and steady voice. When you're trying to simplify your science down for your audience or are asking questions, you need to be appearing relatable. If your audience feels like they can relate to you and you're just like them, they're more likely to listen to what you're saying and pay attention to your speech. Examples of this include slowing down your speech, pausing often to make sure your audience understood what you just said, and assuming a friendly tone of voice. In class, whenever Neha, Emma, and I changed our scripts to be more relatable, I noticed our class paid a lot of attention. For example, when I spoke, Arnav nodded his head when I changed one part of my speech to be more relatable by raising my voice and slowing down my speech. The last thing we examined was the idea of asking questions. Rhetorical questions are a great technique to get your audience involved in your speech. It allows you to almost speak with your audience, like you're having a conversation with them. When we looked at rhetorical questions, Arnav, Catherine, and Ashley all turned their lesson plans into questions. They really left an impact with us when they asked some good questions like, did you know it was possible to diagnose a patient by licking their skin? Or, how do geneticists use a simple fly to model our genes? Questions like these bring the audience into your teaching demo by making them think about what you're saying. All of these ideas tie into what Alda said in his chapters about how to properly engage with an audience. Alda said you need to be able to empathize with the audience, as this allows you to relate with them. By trying to engage with the audience, balancing being a relatable versus an authoritative speaker, and asking many questions, you can empathize with your audience and effectively teach your lesson. Now, I'm going to redo one of my slides in my teaching demo. Here is the original.
What are exosomes? Essentially, exosomes are these tiny packages that cells can send out to other cells. A good way to think about this is imagining a cell as a house. Just as a house sends out packages through the mail, a cell sends out exosomes from its cell body. Packages from a house can be big or small, can contain many things, and can be sent almost anywhere to communicate a message. Exosomes, just like the packages, can contain a wide variety of things, such as DNA, RNA, and proteins. Any cell can send these packages out, and because they are so small, they can travel throughout your body.
Okay, that wasn't so great. Now, I'm going to redo that slide.
What are exosomes? Essentially, exosomes are these tiny packages that cells can send out to other cells. A good way to think about this is imagining the cell as a house. Just as a house sends out packages through the mail, A cell sends out exosomes from its cell body. Packages from a house can be big or small, can contain many things, and can be sent almost anywhere to communicate a message. Exosomes, just like the packages, can contain a wide variety of things, such as DNA, RNA, and proteins. Any cell can send these packages out, and because they're so small, they can travel throughout your body.
So, what did I do different that second time? First, I changed my tone and voice throughout the slide to transition from being a relatable to an authoritative speaker. I emphasized the opening question to really bring my audience into my teaching demo. Finally, I consciously tried to imagine my audience as a classroom of students, like we had in class. This way, I made my delivery much more specific to my audience, thus making my teaching demo much more effective. That's it. Thank you for listening. Do you have any questions?